everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 671. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I seem to also be Ari Rockefeller.
Whoops. Hold on. Let me fix that.
Honestly,
two,
one of me enough is bad
three.
enough.
Okay. All right. There we go. Well, at the top of the show, before I went live, OBS did crash out, so it must have thrown something off in just a scotch. So you know, hey, live television, live streaming, boys and girls. So anywho, are we happy now? Are we good?
Yeah.
Wunderbar. All right, let's get the party started. I don't care about merging. Let's just get it going. So, anywho, how is everybody doing tonight?
Very tired.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
Partially mine and partially work.
All right, we'll accept that. I'm doing pretty decent as it is, so I can't complain too much. So, and as Theodobiri says, next year you need to make a custom Ari Funko Pop, Mako, so you can recreate this moment.
April Fools! See, now that would have been funny if all three of them were Ari.
Oh boy.
Then we could say it was a true April Fool's joke.
You want to know something? I completely forgot that April Fool's was right around the corner. It's like, because I just forgot about a lot of stuff, and I jump on Facebook last night and I see something about a reboot of Soul Eater. I'm just like, wait, hold up. And I look a little closer. I was like, oh,
and then
you got me that time.
And then you remember that today is Don't Believe Everything You Read on the Internet Day.
Well, I still say, to be perfectly honest, April Fools should be canceled, because look at the joke of a country that we're in right now. I mean, really, really. So, anywho, and now that Twitch is already kicked in, well, you've been going for about 5 minutes. We're gonna throw a break in there, but the show is just whatever. Anywho. Now we got that all out the way. Let's get things going. So we'll let y'all know that we are live tonight, week of April 1st, 2025, right here on Twitch TV. We are here live on Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. I'm also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com. And you can find them on Twitch at Vog Network. It's Twitch TV/Vog Network. Then come hang out with us on our Discord. That's vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through and hang out and have a good time. And it's one of the few Discords where the hot tub and the pool is open all year round.
I could use that right about now.
Right about now, I could go for just chilling out in a floaty, with a big old drink, just relaxing.
Again, you and me both.
I'm happy to be, curled up on the couch with a blunt. And
oh, so you're not? Wait, so you're not in the office tonight?
Yeah, I'm in the office tonight.
Oh, but you said something about being on the couch just now.
Yeah, I said that's where I would rather be.
Okay.
You guys want pool and hot tub. I just want a book.
And a blunt.
Yeah, we can see your reflection there too. So now watch as she sticks a stomp.
There's a buggy crawling up the curtain, so I had to grab it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, whatever that thing is with the glowing eyes in the corner of your little thing there.
Yes, that is a little picture of Castiel.
I just realized that. I was like, oh, okay. Because when you said something about fly, I thought it was like, at first I thought you were talking about my glasses or something behind me. I'm just like, well, I don't see anything, you know.
No, this.
Mm.
Well, my no.
It's watching us.
It's watching us here streaming as opposed to watching us pee. Anywho, now that we got that all out the way, and the podcast has already officially been derailed, and it's going to be a while before they put us back on the tracks. So, Ari, how was your day? How was your week?
Well, last week was my proper vacation week from work,
Mm.
and needless to say, I did not miss going to work, and I didn't do a whole lot of anything, just a couple of things around the house. I mean, I did take a little day trip down to Cape May to get a Cape May, what is it? Cape May Brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, Cape May Brewing Company. I blanked on the name for a second.
Mm-hmm, no problem.
Yeah, just got a couple of 6 packs of their local stuff and just drove back.
Okay.
Yeah, that was about the most exciting thing.
I mean, I would love to pick up a 6 pack, but there's no room in the communal fridge for it. So, and it sure as hell ain't no room in my room for a mini fridge like that. So it
That
is
and
what
I
it is.
suspect one of your other roommates might end up, just walking off with the stuff.
I don't see that happening, but I can say that a couple of my forks have disappeared. No, fork. No, a couple of my spoons have disappeared, which made absolutely no damn sense. But you know,
Who the fuck is stealing your silverware?
I don't know.
Not sure I want an answer to that, but yeah, that's how things have been going for me.
Gotcha. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day? And welcome back.
Yeah, this is what happens when I take a break from going to conventions.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, nothing much, or I should say nothing too much. I've basically just been home and at work, and we're training, and we're
Mm-hmm.
getting a new system, and I just found out that we will be moving to a new building. So it's been a very exhausting week and a half.
Same area or different area?
About the same area. Um, I'll still be getting onto and off of at exit 109.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a little bit closer, not a whole hell of a lot. It's still an hour drive in, but I don't have to deal with patients even if they call and say, I'm here, can you explain this? I can say, "No, go."
Well, you get to work from home.
No. I wish.
I'm just,
Or
I'm just picturing Mako dealing with the patients now, sort of like how classic Roseanne, before we discover how much of a cunt she is,
Oh,
how she handled customers, with her quips back on her show, more like that, just with all that sass.
I'm actually not that bad because I have been working retail, for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
you become desensitized to it.
Yep.
It's not even that. It's just I have been working with, customers. I've been working with patients. I've been, front desk. I've been doing all of that. So I just, as soon as I pick up the phone, it's customer service voice. And unless they get really nasty, I keep in with customer service voice.
I don't have the customer service voice. I mean, I do have it, but it only kicks in when I feel like using it. It's more like it's more like you're going to annoy me, so make this quick type voice, you know?
On the phone when you've been doing some work from home stuff and you're here. I
So,
have heard you on the phone. You have customer service voice.
no.
Uh-huh.
No. Maybe because I was caught at a good time, you know? Maybe that's probably what it is. You might have caught me at a good time, but other than that, well, not so much.
I'm just in my professional voice, because you're supposed to answer the phone a certain way at work and all that.
It's funny because at my job, everybody answers the phone differently, and I'm like, at least say your name when you're picking up the line, like service, like support desk. This is Ranma. How can I help? Or support desk. This is Ranma. You know,
Yeah,
something like that.
They tried to get us to say the company name when we answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying the company name. And they're like, well, why? I said, one, they have no choice but to listen for a prompt to get to the billing department. And before that prompt, it is, thank you for calling so and so, blah, 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 blah. If you know the.
That makes it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to repeat that because when you call other places, they don't do that, you know?
Yeah, I said, well, why should I have to say the company name if they already hear the company name? I say the department I'm in, I say my name, and how can I help you? And then they go, hi, this is so-and-so. I said, hi, so-and-so, how can I help you?
You fake that.
You sound like you're dying inside when you say it like that.
You are faking it so well.
I actually, my coworkers, like when I am getting off the phone, they go, you have such a nice customer service voice. I'm like, that's basically all I've ever done in my jobs.
See, here it is. I'm picturing Mako-chan brooding around the office like Raven from Teen Titans, just getting her work done. And then the phone rings. She just switches to this Starfire personality, handles the call, hangs it up, and just flips back into brooding Raven mode. You know.
That is kind of accurate. I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of accurate.
Oh God!
Just hang up the phone. That's when I start going, "That's stupid, dumbass."
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mutter under my breath because sometimes there's always somebody. Sometimes there's another person working behind me in the hoteling desk because I don't want them to hear me, and I'm just like. Mm-hmm. It's like that meme of when you whisper to yourself, "What the fuck?" multiple times over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There are times at work when I'm on the phone with someone is like doing or saying something really stupid in the other end. I'm just looking at the phone like because it's on speaker. I'm looking at the phone like mm-hmm. that. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, because of what I deal with medical billing, and because of the company that I work with, I end up dealing with a lot of Medicare patients.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to a certain age and you've got all of these people going, I have never had to pay a deductible in the beginning of the year ever. I go, ma'am, you've been coming here for 5 years and you have paid your deductible at the beginning of every year you've been here. I'm going to call my insurance company. I don't believe you. Okay.
Go right ahead. Less time they got to spend on the phone with you.
And that's when I end up hanging up the phone and going, what the hell did I just listen to? So yeah, that's been my week and day.
Wow.
It's been a very interesting last 2 weeks. So yeah.
Gotcha. So I want to give y'all a heads up. I believe OBS is being a little temperamental with me, but we're still going, we're still live, we're still recording. I'm just being careful not to touch anywhere inside. That'll cause whole thing to freeze and we have to start all over.
You should always be careful about touching inside.
Oh, gee, thanks. Well, somebody's mind is in the gutter.
Anyway,
Well, we'll do this one part and then we'll finish. We'll get into my weekend day. Sia Dabiri says on our at Twitch TV/Anime Jam session. Back when I was in the office, I used to sit on a yoga ball. God bless you for doing that. I don't know how anybody can sit and work like that. Because otherwise, I think my ass is gonna fall right the fuck off. But anyhow,
You just shift the wrong way and you think the yoga ball's just gonna like out of there like it's shot out of a cannon.
not that I'm gonna shift the wrong way and just fall forward right off the damn thing.
With the ball going backwards
worry about it.
like
It's
a
back
rocket.
you have to worry about.
Say what?
It's not forward you have to worry about because your feet are still planted on the floor. It's backwards you have to worry about.
No, I'm talking. Well, there were these specialty yoga ball chairs. Those are the ones I was more worried about.
Oh yeah, those are ridiculous.
Yeah. So he says, one time I was on a really long, bad phone call, and then the ball slowly deflated through the call, and that what was kept me going from going off on the client was the ridiculousness of the yoga ball deflating while I was almost losing it.
You had to deal with 2 bags of hot air on that call, didn't you?
Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, Fozzie Bear.
Where's my goddammit Barb sound effect when I need it?
Well, you have the same mixer as I do. You can just program it right in there.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, I like none of the buttons I hit make it sound off on the stream itself.
I think it's the output that you have to program it through. That's probably what it is. I kind of know how to do it, but like I said, all of my sound effects are coming through a third-party app that patches through the audio. That's what I did. So, I mean, if you want to do it that way, there's Universal Soundboard. That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah, we can worry about that later.
Yeah. Anyhow, so my weekend day was pretty good, and this will tie into our Geek Roundtable. So I went to a con on Sunday with me and CC Graywitch. Now, we were supposed to go Saturday, and then Sunday, we were supposed to go looking for a MiFi and some other things. So what happened was Saturday sold out because I was waiting on her to buy her ticket so I can buy mine. And then I'm like, well, fuck. Sunday it is. The only downside is the con closes a little bit earlier, but that's quite all right. So, and I'm just like, damn, I brought my Switch, but I didn't bring the dock because I'm thinking Friday I make my way out to her place. Saturday we're spending all day up in Connecticut for this con, and then Sunday we meet up with a friend for like early lunch or dinner. We go over to the cell phone place to see about a MiFi, and I hop on the train and go home. So, but we made the best of it. We ended up meeting up with a friend on Saturday, which was fun. We kind of played catch up. We have a lot more catching up to do, but still. So we go over to the cell place because she needed them. Now, one thing, when you buy like accessories for your phone from the providers, you can go into their stores and have them set it up for you. Whether it's like a screen protector or a fancy case or something like that. So that's what she went there to do. And they kind of gave her grief for buying the screen protector. They basically told her you overpaid for it, and she was like, I bought it off your website. So you gonna tell me I overpaid for something on your website to pay your salary? Right. Well, she knows for future reference she can get them cheaper on Amazon, because I'm like, look, I'm in a program at T-Mobile where I paid $25 and I get unlimited screen protectors. But I go out and buy packs of them to have, because when the screen protectors are broken to that point of no return, I have to go in the store and tell them to order me another one, and that takes up to 7 to 10 business days. So I think when I finally upgrade my phone, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm not gonna renew this thing. I can just get 3 screen protectors for like $10. I know I go through at least 9 or 12 in a 2-year period, which turns to be a little bit cheaper that way.
Yeah, I've figured out how to put them on without getting crap underneath them, so I just do my own.
Yeah, the thing is, the ones that are always a pain in the ass are the plastic ones because of the fucking air bubbles.
Yeah.
It's the ones that I end up using.
Now I get the tempered glass ones.
I started with them, but I don't like them with this phone because I drop my phone. So they always end up cracking on the sides or popping off.
See, I don't mind that. The only issue I have is when I put the glass ones on, it could take anywhere between 15 minutes to 24 to 48 hours for it to recognize the fingerprint sensor.
Yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of a delay when you press down on the screen with the protector.
Nowadays, I mean, it's actually where I can it just picks it right up. I mean, it comes out of unlock. So thankfully for that. So there was that. So the next thing we needed was a MiFi. Now, number one, she needed one for travel because she was telling me how when she was riding Amtrak, Wi-Fi was very shit-tastic. Makes sense. Now, so she was like, get a MiFi, and then what we could do is when we're in Japan, we can just get like a secondary SIM or an eSIM to put on there and use it. And we go in, we explain this to the person, and he goes, I'll be right back. And he comes back and says, yeah, no, we don't have anything that's compatible that does that. And I'm just staring at him like, I know the ones that you carry are compatible to do that. It's like when I walk into Geek Squad and they ask me for help, I'm just like, I know way more than you, and I get paid way more than you, so go somewhere, please. I've actually done that. You know, I know more than you bit. I've done that. I've actually told a couple people that were a couple of customers that you don't need this, you need that. Why is he pointing to this one? Because he gets a higher spiff if you get that one. That's overkill for what you want to do.
Oh, they hate that.
You think I give a shit?
No, of course not.
So she gets the screen protector taken care of. And then you know how a lot of places will send you like that CSAT score. Oh, I did disapproved all across the board. I'm like, nope. So there was that. And so we went out and had sushi and ramen, good times. And then Sunday we went to the con. And thankfully, now the original plan was because we left earlier than we anticipated because one of the guests, the line was still going. I'm like, you know what? I'm not waiting around for that. Let's go across the street. Let's go to the barbecue place, which was really good, and get on the road. And she wanted me to basically ride back with her because she's never traveled up this way by herself, which I get. And I'm just like, well, if you could drop me off at this stop and then we can go, that'd be okay. Because I didn't want to come in at 11 o'clock at night unless I couldn't help it, you know. But she was able to drop me off in Westchester, and I just caught the train and made it home. So that way it works. So I think for future reference, if we do this next year, we're going to probably do that where she picks me up in Westchester and goes from there. Because going to the you have to pass by that train station anyway, whether it's on the highway or you detour. It's like a 5 to 10 minute difference, so you know. So there,
whatever works.
Yeah, and during Geek Roundtable, I'll show off one of the things that I got. So that's really cool. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to get into housekeeping notes. Want to let you know that episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page. It goes up Thursdays at 12 p.m. And we have basically all of the episodes, or at least most of the episodes, going back at least a good 2-3 years, give or take. So that's perfect if you don't have a subscription to our Twitch channel, or if you do, you want to see older stuff like ye old archives. Also, it's also perfect for those of you who subscribe to our podcast through YouTube, which is really appreciated. Let's see, what else do we have here? I don't have anything for Fans View Friday done by Wisteria Witch VT, but we want to let you know that our next group outing is the Sailor Moon Super Live. Yes, a bunch of us are going to the New York City showing April 26th and 7th. As we're going to have a grand old time for that. So I'm looking forward to it. I do know that there's some people complaining about the quality of the light sticks, but I'm like, I could give a shit about that. I have my original one from like 5 years ago. I just want a shirt, maybe the cards, and that's it. So, it's it, and that's that. So now we're going to get into the part of the show that y'all really like to know about more of our nerdier aspects, is the Geek Roundtable. So since Ari has to bounce off in just a bit, we're going to kick the floor over to him.
Let's see. I'm not sure if I just showed this off yet or not. This is a figurine of Thor, MCU Thor from.
Nice.
It was bought a couple Christmases ago by one of my local friends who constantly compares me to some kind of Greek god with the long hair and the beard.
Mm.
And I just go along with it because it's good fun.
That's cool.
I do have some weird friends around here.
I mean, don't we all?
Nothing with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what do you got, Mako?
I have some little people.
Okay, and on that note, good night.
So Mattel started doing the collection of little people for various different shows that are out there. They've done one for Friends, they've done one for RuPaul, they've done one, like there's just so many of them. And I was surprised, as was a bunch of other people, when they ended up doing one for Supernatural. It's very difficult to actually find them now. They've basically sold out most places. The site that I ended up getting it from is the site that I get a lot of my Supernatural fan kind of stuff from. And as soon as I saw that they finally put it up, because they would not actually post it to sell until they had it in stock. So as soon as I saw that it went from, email to sell, I purchased it right away. Even though I still have a pre-order with another site that has pushed back from March to April. So we'll see if I even get that one.
You can't cancel that pre-order, can you? Can't cancel that one, can you?
Oh, no, I could. But if I get a second one, then I can bring them to work with me.
What was that?
Bring them to work with you? Have them by your desk?
Well, yeah, then I would be able to I would take them out of the box and just have them on my desk.
Okay, all right, okay. I am the last person to pass judgment on that, because I've done my work state, my desk at work. Okay, I have like an an area above my desk where I can put signs and stuff. I have Kevin Bulk's 30th anniversary Otakon retro 80s poster up there. Above that is my I think it's Xenoblade Chronicles X lithograph, whatever the one up there. To the left of that is a fan art of the villains from Dragon Ball Z, and Damon has signed under Frieza, and on the right is a poster of all of the Sailor Senshi signed by the entire voice cast, and I don't even know where I picked that up at. But right farther over, where I keep where the cabinets are, I have one area where it's my DDR machine, Princess Venus, Sailor V, my Lego Hulk Buster, Twilight Sparkle and and some boxes from stuff that I've bought, like as a curio display of sorts. And below that, I keep my box of Keurig coffee and my cups. So, who am I to pass judgment?
Yeah, my desk. I when I'm sitting down at my desk, I always think, as much as I want to be Abby Shuto, it's Penelope Garcia.
Mm.
I have, pictures that I've printed from the internet of various fandoms. I have, they have this little collection of little, like costumed skeletons. So I have two of them. I have a Jigglypuff. I have, I have a Funko Pop. I have some of my Legos. So yeah, my main boss, he absolutely hates it.
Which is why you keep doing it.
That's why I keep doing it. To the new building, I will be bringing all of that shit with me. So yes, if I can find more stuff to put onto my desk that is small enough that it's, not bothersome to me while working, my ass is putting it up.
I mean, you're not the only one with little tchotchkes and other things on their desk, so.
No, but I have taken it to an extreme.
But also at the same time, it's not hard to find a nerd in the office.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Do not be surprised they mistake you for IT.
Even IT doesn't have shit. He does not have shit at his desk.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, no, he is the basement dweller. So he actually shares an area with the DME department. So he doesn't, like, their desks have nothing on them just because, like, it's rat infested down there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Which is why I'm very happy that I'm moving because, the ants have already started marching 2 by 2. And it's very, very gross.
I have a story about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I went to go get coffee yesterday and went and grabbed ice out of the freezer and noticed that there was an ant on my hand because they were crawling around in the creamers.
Oh boy.
Well,
yeah.
Well, look at it this way: it's better that ants and not roaches.
Yeah, and they're the teeny tiny ones, so I don't mind them as much. It's not like they're the big, huge, carpenter ants. It's just the teeny tiny ones, but still, if I'm, going to get coffee and grab a creamer and have an ant on my hand because it was crawling around in the creamer, it's a little gross.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
You've been chosen by the supply ant.
Yeah.
Hold on to this ant for good luck and good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before I get into the Geek Roundtable, let me tell you my quick story about the ants. I meant to tell during my weekend day. So last night I'm sitting here, working on a couple of things, and then I hear this sound effect from one of my fans. And I listened carefully, and I knew it was one of the fans because I didn't want it to sound like one of my drives. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking one of the cables is hitting up against the fan. So I go in, electric duster, blow it all out. And it's still doing it. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck is going on here? And I can't figure it out because none of the wires are hitting the fan. But I'm able to detect which fan is acting that way. So I figure, all right, maybe it's the ball bearing. I figure if I push up against the fan, it'll fix whatever issue that it is. And I did that. And something fell out.
Uh-oh.
What was it?
It was an ant.
That had to be a big ass ant.
Yeah, the way it was shaped, I actually thought it was a scorpion for a split second.
Ew.
But it was an ant. And then once I got it out, the fan has been spinning quietly ever since. So that reminds me, now that I have my window open, I have to get some type of screen to put there so when I open the window, nothing comes in or out. So I like the breeze, but I don't like the critters in with my breeze. So, anywho, as I said at the top of the show, I went to a convention over the weekend. It was called 90s Con. This is a con where if you ever been a fan of like 90s TV shows, late 80s, certain movies and so forth, they'll have the guests there. Like, they had some people from Scream there. It was 90210, Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World, Brotherly Love, and a few others. And it was nice. And one thing I like about this con is where they're seated, that area gets crowded. But there's like ample space between the rows where you can walk around and not feel like you're in an enclosed area. So it was nice. So one of the guests there was Jaleel White.
Nice.
So I'm like, I need to have a talk with my man. I have to have a talk with him. So as I stand before you or sit before you, I have my copy of Sonic the Hedgehog, the complete series, the Saturday morning one. And on
Sonic
here,
Sat-Am, nice.
Yep. And on here is his autograph that says, "Way past cool, Jaleel."
Cool.
So
Man.
I'm like, I need to talk to you for a second. And I told him, I watched Family Matters I watched every episode except for when it went to CBS. For some odd reason, I never watched it, but
TGIF, baby.
Yeah, I watched it, and I told him I got picked on a lot because of your character, Steve Urkel. And I said, but yet I still watched the show because I enjoyed it. And I said, I didn't realize why people were picking on me about it until I happened to look at an issue of TV Guide, because my great-grandmother used to have a subscription to TV Guide. And he was on the cover with his glasses, and I just started wearing glasses, and I was just like, oh, shit. And I told him I would have to fight almost every other day. And I said, it finally came to a climactic ending, when they tried to pick on me after I just got out of boot camp. So, I handled that. Now, he asked me, did this happen around the time of when he did of the Bruce Lee episode? For those of you who remember, he had like that transformation box. And there was an episode where one of the kids was being picked on. So he put the box there. They all went in and came out as Bruce Lee. So
yeah.
And I don't know if that episode will probably, because they go Bruce Lee, the really bad Chinese accent.
The really bad affectation of Bruce Lee's voice.
Yeah, it was wrong, like the accent in general. I think it's probably still in syndication, but just remember it was a product of the time. So he asked me if it was around that episode. I said, no, I started doing martial arts again before that episode. I'm like, my mom saw what was going on. She put me back in, and I just had to do what I had to do. So, and he gave me props for that. So I got that autograph. Grey Witch got Will Friedle's autograph and a photo with him. And she also got a photo op with Mario Lopez.
Cool.
And so, over here, somewhere, back there, is another box. It's another DVD box set that's autographed.
Yeah.
It'll take me forever to get to it, but it is season 1 DVD box set of Punky Brewster.
Nice.
You can save it for next week.
Oh, this is somebody's gift on the show.
Oh.
And that is tricked out full of autographs.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm sure they'll love that.
Oh, well, it's for Mako-chan. Because remember, she lives by the book of Punky. So I'm going to tell them about the video. So since we already got this far.
Yeah, go ahead, tell them.
So I get on the line for Soleil Moon Front. The other person I was trying to get an autograph for was Matthew Lillard. But since he always does like the monster conventions, it's easy to catch him there. So I'm on the line for Soleil Moon Front. And they let us know like every hour she needs to take a break, have something to eat, low blood sugar. All right, cool. So when she takes the first break, she hands everybody a cake pop as an apology because she has to go handle it. I'm like, this is way cool. So I get up on the line and I tell her that I am a big fan of Punky Brewster. I mean, who of us who grew up in the 80s weren't a fan of Punky Brewster? And I told her
I
that. I
honestly never really heard of it. I'm weird like that.
Oh, trust me, you're not weird like that. There are a bunch of movies young kids watched during the 80s and the 90s that I have never seen because I couldn't afford to go to the theater. So, believe you me, I am one of those who have never seen Neverending Story from start to finish.
Well.
See?
Now you make me want to sing the song.
I will fire up an overlay of DDR and start going at it. Please don't. So, and I tell her that my bestie is like a big fan of hers, and this is for her birthday and so forth. And Soleil is like, well, get your phone ready. I'm like, why? Oh, we're going to send her a little video. I was like, okay. So there is a video of the two of us wishing Mako-chan a happy birthday.
Yeah,
that's wholesome.
I will say that I completely geeked out.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a copy of that to my mother. She then completely geeked out. I sent a copy of it to my cousin, and then she completely geeked out. And of course, every time I sent it, I have to watch it again myself.
So how many times
that pattern here?
So I think I'm up to 6 full watch throughs at this point. For a 15-second video.
I was going to edit it down where you didn't see me like trying to turn the video off. I was like, yo, fuck it, I'll send it like that. Because I messaged Mako earlier like, didn't you do a Punky Brewster costume when you were a kid? Because and then when she was asked, well, I was like, oh, we were talking about 80s stuff and all that, So and I am like, are you sitting down? Here, check this out. So. And there is that. And that's basically our Geek Roundtable. And on that note, we have to say goodbye to Ari because he has to get up early for work. And trust me, we understand that feeling all too well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll try to get on next week.
It's all good, fam. It's all good.
See you later.
Later. All right, let's see if I can flip this over to 2Play. And no. Okay. I'm going to let y'all know right now that the stream is going to freeze, okay? I'm going to go in and try to flip it over. The stream is going to freeze, and I'm going to have to restart it. I'm just giving y'all fair warning now if it happens. Okay. And there it is. Come on. Just go ahead and kill it. And yet it's still going. It's like the latest build didn't do anything. This is odd. All right. Hold on. You could probably still hear us. I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to kill the stream. And I'm going to reboot. And we're going to bring everything back up. So we should be back in about 5-10 minutes. So we will be back. There we go. Now we're back live as the way it should be. See, when I got that update for OBS, I should have did a complete system restart like I normally do. But I'm like, well, maybe I won't have to do it this time. So, whoops. So we're good. We're back. So, hooray, beer! All right, enough about that. Let's get into tonight's show. So, And I just realized something.
What's that?
I forgot to promote that we're live. Whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, I guess I got busy with other things that I totally forgot to do that. So I am going to do that shit right now so that we can kind of get a few more people to come hang out with us tonight. So while I do that, Maka, why don't you take the second story and I'll jump back to the first one.
All right, I can do that.
Thank you.
So the fourth annual Japan Parade and Street Fair announced on Tuesday, this is last Tuesday, that the event will feature the Attack on Titan, the musical show, the musical based on, obviously, Attack on Titan's manga. And this is going to take place on May 10th. The Japan Parade also revealed the new Japan Night reception and concert, which will be on the night before, which is on May 9th. So the cast members for Levi, Hanji, Hirokai, various others will be there. The concert will open with a performance by the cast of the musical, followed by performances from other musicians. The title sponsor, ASP Group, will share a visual presentation of traditional Japanese crafts, and the show will close with former NMB 48 member Sayaka Yamamoto's performance. The parade itself and street fair will take place on May 10th on 72nd Street in New York City. The Japan Night reception and concert will take place on May 9th at the Edison Ballroom. The Attack on Titan, the musical, held its international performance in New York City from October 11th to October 13th. And it is the same cast, from what I'm seeing, that will be coming back to do so.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is all sorts of cool.
Way past cool.
Yeah, so I mean, anybody that is going to be in the area at that time, come on through, watch the parade. You actually doing the parade this year?
I'm probably thinking about doing so. You know, I don't think I have anything going on that weekend, so I might just go, and I might just go as Luigi and just run around and take pictures and have fun with that.
Yeah, I think that's the weekend that we would usually go to CloverCon.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
obviously, we're not doing CloverCon this year.
Yeah, I think one year, I think the first year they actually had the Japan Day Parade. We did CloverCon. That's when I went and recorded it, and then hopped on a train out there to y'all, and then we went to the con on Sunday. So.
Yep. And they're doing the CloverCon will be the weekend after that.
Oh, okay. Which means I will not be around for that for obvious reasons. So.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason why we ended up not going this year.
I didn't even realize it was going to be on that weekend.
Well, it's May of every year.
I know, but
crap coming up in May.
I just kept thinking it was like the second weekend of May or something like that.
It's usually the second.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the first or second, but it looks like this year is the third.
Seems legit. All right. Now we're gonna get back into our title story about Mushoku Tensei. The author has no plans of giving fans what they want. Now, I get and I understand that. You're reading a good manga, you're watching a good show, and you see it going a certain direction, and you want them to go that direction, but they don't. Or you see maybe get these two or do this. It doesn't happen, and people will just argue and be like, please do this and please do that. Some creators will like, you know what, if the fans want it, we're going to give it to them. Other creators are like, no, I already have this set on how I want to do it. So you're just going to have to learn and deal with it. Which to me makes the most amount of sense. Now, there is another reason behind all of this, which we will get into, and I cannot confirm if this is legit or not because, number one, I have not read the light novels, and there's only one site that's actually reporting this, so it could be a bit of a joke. I don't know. So the let's see where we go here. The mangaka Mushoku Tensei Ryujin Maganote, which translates to unreasonable back scratcher, which is made it absolutely clear that he is never going to let outside opinions dictate his creative approach. Whether it's love, hate, or something in between, he will stick to his guns, and honestly, it's somewhat refreshing to see someone as committed to the artistic vision. And I think that's great, you know? Even though he admitted that he feels stuff when people praise his work, he still believes that the passion for storytelling should always come first. He does get happy when they love it, and sad when they criticize it, and hurt when they get nasty, but at the end of the day, he's going to write what he wants. While this may sound like a bold statement, as if he doesn't care about how his viewers feel at all, if you think about it from an author's perspective, it's not a bad thing to write for yourself. But he's basically saying here that he has a clear vision, and no amount of criticism, whether it be positive or negative, can make him change his planned path, and this should be respected. In that same Twitter post, the mangaka made it further made it clear that he does acknowledge that readers are essential in sharing his work with the world, but he's not willing to compromise his passion solely for the sake of popularity. For him, the creative process starts with what he loves, and that's non-negotiable. He emphasized on saying that his passion would always come first and his audience second. The fact that he's not apologizing for putting his heart and soul into what he loves is something to admire. It can even be a reminder for other creators that it's not like we should always compromise our vision to please others. And the best part for the author here is that it's clearly working so far. With the anime still going strong, Ryujin Maganote managed to strike a balance between staying true to himself and also being relatable to the viewers. Even if he doesn't like to admit it, he found a way to make it work, and it's something to celebrate. And the anime can be watched on Netflix and Crunchyroll. Now, I know I've come across some people who are not big fans of this anime, who become fans of it because Rudius in his prior life is a bit of a sexual deviant, and those thoughts trickle into his new life, and you kind of see him dealing with the balance back and forth. Now, part of the reason why this came up is because there is a particular storyline that's happening in the manga, and this is this is a spin-off series. This takes place, you know, there are some mangas where it ends and then you have like a spin-off series that goes one way or that way. Now, part of the issue, this is from the light novel. This comes from supposedly this is because of an upcoming controversial relationship in the Mushoku Tensei Redundancy spin-off series. It features a relationship between Ars Greyrat, who is Rudius' son, and Aisha, and that's Rudius' younger half-sister, Ars' aunt. Aisha is much older than Ars, and since they're a family, many fans were uncomfortable with the story. In the original version, their relationship grows, they run away together, and Aisha ends up pregnant. The reactions both in the story from the readers were strong. Characters like Eris and Lilia were furious, and the fan response online was just as intense. Eventually, Maganote removed these chapters from the web version of Redundancy. While some of that decision came from the website guidelines where the work was published, fan backlash was clearly a factor. So there's going to be a physical release of the third volume, so fans are like, will it be rewritten? Will it be brought back? Or will it be left out? Now, for those of you who follow the show, please do understand, Rudius did lose his virginity to a half-sibling. So, there is that. And for those of you who follow the series and realize that a lot of this, they're all half-siblings. The blood is thinning out as this goes along. So, there is that. But still, But also keep in mind that during medieval times, this was more or less the norm.
Yeah, that's why so many of the higher tiers, the monarchies and stuff like that, that's why so many of them had so many health issues,
Mm-hmm.
because most of them were at least cousins, if not half or full siblings, because they wanted to keep it in the family.
Yes, and if I need to look it up. 'Cause I know they're half siblings, but I don't know how it works. I mean, like how far off they are. Like Rudius. Let's see, Rudius. All right, Gray Rat and uh Eris Gray Rat. I don't even think it was a full thing. Yeah, try. I'm just trying to find it where it did, where it kind of handled. There's like a chart that somebody put together, and I'm just like Jesus. Let me see. Let me see if it's under this one. See if I. Yeah, Eris is Rudius's second cousin. So I could say, it's more or less it's okay. And oddly enough, in most states, you can marry your second cousin.
It's actually legal in all states.
Well, shit.
Um, because your second cousin is like they're related to you, but not
This the
a
blood is
lot.
not that thick.
Right. You've got to go back to your like your great grandmother and grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
That would be another one of their children besides your grandfather or grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So it is further out than, talking about, your sister's, children marrying your children.
Yeah, because if you follow Mushoku Tensei, you find out that Rudius's current wife, Sylphie, if I'm not mistaken, her grandmother is Ghislaine, I think, and she had a thing with Rudius's father. So forget watching All My Children. You need to watch Mushoku Tensei. That is wild. So enough about that. Let's see, where do we cut off? You want to take the Ghibli story?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, and we'll just go back and forth from there.
Yeah. So, a United States district judge ruled last Thursday that the New York Times and several other newspaper groups can proceed with a copyright lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft,
Mm.
restrict the two companies from using the newspaper's content to train chatbots like ChatGPT. In a statement following the ruling and the dismissal of some of the plaintiff's claims, OpenAI said it welcomed the court's dismissal of many of these claims and looks forward to making it clear that it builds its AI models using publicly available data in a manner grounded in fair use and supportive of innovation. This comes on the heels of the launch of what OpenAI calls its most advanced image generator yet
Hmm.
in its GPT-4o generative AI model. In a technical paper, the company wrote, "We added a refusal which triggers when a user attempts to generate an image in the style of a living artist. but it adds in a later statement that it permits broader studio styles, which people have used to generate and share some truly delightful and inspired original fan creations.
Hmm.
CEO of OpenAI appeared to encourage the use of the image generator to modify photographs to appear to be Studio Ghibli stills. He uploaded one such Ghibli-fied photo of himself to his Twitter profile on Wednesday and posted a joke about people's use of ChatGPT's image generator in this manner. Many on social media have in recent days seemingly used the generator to recreate and post famous memes into the Ghibli-fied style, or post other images or personal photos converted to that style.
Mm-hmm.
Also on Wednesday, Vice President of Distribution for G-Kids, Chance Husky, stated during the IMAX release of the 4K restoration of Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke film, says, in a time when technology tries to replicate humanity, we are thrilled that audiences value a theatrical experience that respects and celebrates Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli's masterpiece in all its cinematic hand-drawn glory. The co-founder of Ghibli, Miyazaki, has previously gone on record regarding his disapproval of AI technology and animation before the rise of generative AI. During an AI animation demo in 2016, the documentary called Never Ending Man, he famously stated, "I strongly feel that this is an insult to life itself." Though it is worth noting his comments were in regard to the, as described by the demonstrator, grotesque movements that we humans can't imagine during the demonstration, which prompted Miyazaki to tell a story about a friend who has a disability and has a hard time moving. Miyazaki also stated at the time he would never wish to incorporate this technology into his work at all. Yeah, so I know that in the past, when Ghibli was getting things together and seeing the AI models and stuff like that, they were actually doing cease and desists. So I would not be surprised if that is going to go through now as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, the C&D that's floating around now, it's fake. That has been debunked.
That doesn't surprise me.
Now I didn't even know they were sending out C&Ds, regarding this. So I will say, I did butt heads with somebody about this, and it was mostly my fault. Now here's the thing: because of my job and what I work with, I try to keep bootlegging, illegal stuff to a minimum, out of sight, out of mind for the most part. Now, when it comes to AI stuff, I try not to look at it. Sometimes you can't help it because there are certain groups that you're in. It's there. You have people who don't care it's AI or not. They found an AI image of their favorite waifu with Tiggle bitties, and they're gonna post it. It's AI. They don't care. It's their waifu. They don't care. I care. So I do my best not to be tagged in that type of stuff. Now, I made a fox paw by sharing an image of like TV dads from the 80s and the 90s. Now, I didn't even know it was AI at first until someone mentioned it. So I removed it. Now, when it came to the whole Ghibli aspect, there was an Evangelion Ghibli image that was done, and I shared it, and I'm like, yes, I know, I just find this image funny, and that caused a stink. And now I should have put a little disclaimer saying, yes, I know it, I just find this image funny, or amusing, but I took it down, kept it to myself, cut ties, and walked away. I will say this: if you're going to do this type of stuff, kind of keep it to yourself. Keep it within your friend group, that way it slows it down. But again, This can be helpful to you if you are an artist. If you're drawing something and you can't figure out how it goes, ask ChatGPT how it should look. Ask it to give you like several samples. Look at the samples and then design something based off those samples and run with it. AI is meant to help and assist, not take over. I mean, hell, sometimes I use AI when I'm responding to customers at work just to make sure what I'm writing makes sense. Or if it's too long to write, I will throw it into ChatGPT and like, can you shorten this for me? And it does. And I take it and I rewrite it as if it came, as if I said it. So, anyhow,
I completely agree.
I was about to ask you what your thoughts were.
I know I don't remember who it was. Um, but I know that there was an artist. Um, I don't remember if it was a manga artist or an
Mm-hmm.
anime artist that uploaded all of his pictures um, and had AI do artwork for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's using his own art in the AI. So, I mean, yeah, he's not doing it, but it's based on his own stuff, giving him ideas and helping him to create things like that. And that is what it really should be used for, not stealing somebody
Mm-hmm.
else's ideas. But if you are an artist and you can input your own stuff, even if you are, a writer and can input your own stuff and get, help, not necessarily, somebody writing your stuff for you, but if you have, if you have gone off on a tangent and all of a sudden you are stuck and you have writer's block, AI would be, the perfect tool to give you ideas to help you get over that writer's block and
Mm-hmm.
continue to write your story or your book or your screenplay or whatever. That is what AI should be. It should be a helpful tool for you. Um, and while I like the fun aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
just being able to upload your own picture and have it Ghiblified or have various styles put towards it, I'm okay with that as long as you're not making money off of it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not passing it off as your own art, as long as you were saying that, hey, this is AI generated in this style, you know, that I'm also okay with. The artists that decide that they are going to create an AI image and then sell it online, that I'm not okay with.
I completely agree with that.
I mean, it is there as a helping tool or it is there for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there for other people to make money on somebody else's, they're not there to ride your coattails.
Yep. And now that we got that rant out of the way, we're going to talk about one of my favorites, Frieren. I have not read the manga yet, but maybe I should, because it seems that the there was a slight issue with that the publisher didn't find it as charming. Now, Weekly Shonen Sunday editor in chief Kazunori Oshima has admitted that he was initially somewhat dismissive of the title. He did not think it would get this far, that he confessed in a recent interview with Da Vinci Web. It was already very interesting at the planning stage, but when I was writing my thoughts on the serialization project, I wish the elf girl was a bit more charming, which is really off-base comment considering how popular Frieren is now. Well, for those of you who don't know, Frieren is charming in her own way. Think of her as an elder of sorts, but still has a bit of ways to go to learn and mature because elves live 1,000 years, more or less. For a series that seemingly almost didn't make the cut due to its protagonist lacking charm, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, has dominated manga sales and anime must-watch lists. Since the original manga debuted in 2020, Frieren has blossomed into a fan-favorite fantasy hit with over 20 million copies in circulation, and even receiving the prestigious 14th Manga Taisho Award in 2021 and the 25th Tezuka Osamu Cultural Prize in 2022. The recent anime adaptation by well-known studio Madhouse, who has worked on Cardcaptor Sakura, Hunter x Hunter, A Place Further in the Universe, which began airing the anime in 2023, earned critical acclaim for its stunning animation and Tolkien-tinged storytelling. Mako, if you have not seen this yet, you need to. It is so good.
Yeah, I haven't sat down to watch it yet.
The best way I can describe this anime is what you do when the D&D campaign is over. This is basically what that is. Oshima credits Frieren, Beyond Journey's End success to creators Kanehito Yamada and Tsukaka Abe and editor Ogura. Thinking back on its original opinion of the series, Oshima couldn't help but regret his folly, saying, "I think Ogura must have thought, are you kidding me?" The Frieren team previously handled Detective Conan and since become renowned by Oshima for their incredible passion and work ethic. Describing their humility, he added, even after the big hit Frieren was made into an anime, the editorial department was not over-elated. If anything, we were more enthusiastic about discovering new stories and writers with the goal of creating a sequel. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End Volume 14, is currently available in stores and online. The anime series is slated to return for Season 2, January of next year. Yes. With a specific release date yet to be confirmed. I just wish it didn't take so damn long for Season 2.
Hey, maybe them taking so long means that it's actually going to be done right.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That, or a lot of them have like they got different projects coming up the pipe. And on the positive side, no filler episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, what about Dragon Ball there, Mako?
Yeah, so surprise, surprise, Dragon Ball is no longer the bottom of the ranking chart on IMDb's Hmm? Yeah. So it has been stuck at the bottom of the ranking chart for several years. However, the rating of a newly released Disney film has bumped it up to a slightly higher level position on the list. And I froze.
Your machine froze or you froze?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the website froze on me.
Oh, okay.
So, let me get back up there.
Mm-hmm.
So on IMDb, Dragon Ball Evolution holds an overall rating of 2.5 stars out of a possible 10. This is just a few points below Baby Geniuses, which is at 2.6, and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians at 2.7.
I didn't even know that was a movie.
Neither did I. Disney's live-action remake of Snow White, which debuted on March 21st, currently sits at 1.5.
Oof.
Many reviewers cited the film's poor use of CGI in addition to bland musical numbers. Also, the actress's controversial opinions about the original film prior to the release caused her issues as well as the movie. And then obviously for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I really shouldn't tell you because it's just better that way. But if you are interested in watching the weirdest ever series that has been done and been Americanized, or I should say Americified, would be Dragon Ball Evolution. It was directed as a standalone film by James Wong who did X-Files and American Horror Story. It's loosely based on several different Dragon Ball arcs, which includes the King Piccolo saga. And while the franchise creator is credited as an executive producer and creative consultant, the film is basically universally decided by fans to be as badly acted, poorly written insults to the original work.
It's not wrong.
They say the story is basically the manga, but cut up, put into a blender, stuffed into sausage skins, and stitched back together. That's one of the reviews on IMDb.
Oof.
The multi-million-dollar drama has amounted to a teen drama mixed with Power Rangers. And the final product is insulting, to say the least. For those that don't know, James Marsters plays Piccolo in Dragon Ball Evolution. This is the same guy that plays Spike in the Buffy series. And he deeply apologizes for his involvement in the film.
You know that is bad when he does that.
Yeah, he basically says, oh boy, it is not good. It was really bad. And it froze on me again. What the hell?
Might be the website.
I'm hoping it's the website.
Mm.
Yeah, he said the one good thing about the movie was that not a lot of people saw it. He says that the director was a good guy and he did a lot of good movies, but this is not one of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. He does do English voice work in Dragon Ball Super under a different name. And he basically says that he does that so when people go up to him at shows, he can go, hey, I did this under a different name, and this is an apology for the film.
Seems legit.
Yeah, so it is a very bad take on Dragon Ball, which I guess is like a lot of Americanized live action versions of Japanese.
I remember seeing this in theaters with my roommate.
Yeah, I have not been able to actually watch this whole thing through at once. I've seen the whole movie, but I've had to like stop when I'm in the middle of watching it if I start it from the beginning. And then I just kind of go back to it later.
See, it's just better when Kyle Hebert was doing the roast of Dragon Ball Evolution. That's when it was much more entertaining.
Well, most weird kind of movies like this are better during the roasts.
He hasn't done it in a while. I don't think he's doing it anymore.
No, he's got so much other stuff to do.
Yep.
And you know, this movie is from 2009.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you know, you're talking you're talking 15 years.
I just find it amusing that the two people who play Goku and Bulma, Justin Chatwin, and I forget the girl's name, both played love interests on the show Shameless. I kept saying, yeah, that's what Shameless is what really happened to Goku and Bulma. All right, we have one more story tonight, and then we're going to get into Meanwhile in Japan. Unless you want to call it after this article.
No, we can do another. Yeah, we can do the
okay.
Meanwhile in Japan's.
All right, so I have friends looking for this for me in Japan, just to come to realize that it's not available right now. So I'm just like, damn it. So, and I saw this on one of the Ranma One Half Facebook groups that I follow. So what it is comfy cosplay clothing where you can dress up as Ranma Saotome and Ryoga Hibiki. And that is pretty cool. So, courtesy of casual clothing chain Shimamura, that you can get both Ranma Saotome and Ryoga Hibiki's outfits. Now, the sets are they're coming out is during the break of the first two seasons of the remake of the series. There are some aesthetic differences between the new anime and the original, such as the Chinese martial arts fashion sense and so forth. But they've made some good changes, and I'm okay with that. So, in one of the images is Ryoga's outfit, and it replicates the crisscrossing of the chords of the perpetually lost wanderer, and which is I think this is so cool. It really is. The sashes of both sets are functional too, not just sewn on, and can be removed or tied to whatever degree of snugness or looseness you desire. Basically, the strips around Ryoga's pants can be adjusted. That's cool. Now, let's see what else we have here. And for Ranma's tunic, it's not even a button up like you see like a martial arts outfit. It's just like a pullover shirt, and you just add the belt, which is kind of cool. Now, the chain that is putting this out, Shimamura, they have officially designed both designs as ladies' roomwear, and they're also available in sizes from small to extra large. But when you look at promotional photos of them, there are guys wearing the outfits as well. So they could be unisex. Unfortunately, the extra large for pants is not for me because the extra large waist is 74 centimeters, which is 29.1 inches, and I'm like 15 inches wider than that. But as long as I can get the shirt, that's all I really care about. And what's cool is, this is cool, is they're offering Ranma One Half themed athletic apparel, featuring super deformed versions of Ranma Akane, Shampoo, and Ryoga on high-collared track jackets, Shampoo and Ryoga in their transformed variants on the polo shirts, and shorts with the Naruto fish cakes and peaches that show off as artistic motifs in the Ranma One Half key art. And it looks pretty cool. Character merchandise often comes with a pricing premium, but with Shimamura being a budget-oriented retailer, none of these items will leave your wallet crying. The 3,200 yen roomwear scents are expensive as anything gets, which is equivalent to about $22. Can't go wrong with that. The track jackets are around 2,420 yen, and the polo shirts are 1,639 yen. And that's not bad. Pre-orders are open now, and shipping is slated for mid-June. So I have another friend who pre-ordered through a third party to get this, and I didn't realize that, these are pre-orders. I figured they were available now in their stores. So I'm going to keep the chain listed on my places to visit because I want to pick up a couple of jinbeis while I'm there. Hopefully I'll be able to find them in my size. And now that we got that out the way, we're going to kick it over to the part of the show that y'all really like to stick around for. Meanwhile in Japan. Okay, let me pull this up. Let's see what we got here. Which one do you want, Mako?
It doesn't matter. I'll take any.
Okay. All right. I will take the first story about the fake whiskey. And I didn't think you could go around making fake whiskey. I mean, you can, but still. That's all I have to say. Is just fake Japanese whiskey countermeasures now include official Japanese whiskey emblem. In recent years, Japanese whiskey has exploded in popularity internationally. Even if you're a seasoned veteran of Japan's pub and bar circuit, if you walk into a liquor store overseas, you might be surprised how many brands of Japanese whiskey they offer that you've never seen before. However, this proliferation of Japanese whiskey options outside Japan isn't because importers are a step ahead of anyone else. It's because a lot of the Japanese whiskey you can buy overseas isn't Japanese whiskey at all, in the sense that it wasn't fully produced in Japan. Piggybacking on the success of worldwide recognition of genuine Japanese distilleries, there's now a whole sub-industry of companies that simply bottle or blend imported whiskeys at facilities in Japan, then export it for sales overseas, although with gaudy packaging touting how very Japanese it is. The Japanese Spirits and Liquors Makers Association is an industry group with 104 members have decided enough is enough, and they're taking steps to put a stop to the internationally misleading presentation of such whiskeys. A few days ago, the association announced its latest countermeasure as it unveiled a new labeling mark to be placed on products that meet the organization's criteria for authentic Japanese whiskey. The emblem consists of the letters JW, stylistically stamped on the top of a whiskey cask, along with the designation of Japanese whiskey and the initials of the Japan Spirits and Liquors Makers Association. To qualify for use of the emblem, the following conditions must be met. Malted grains must be used, and raw ingredients must be limited to malted grains, other cereal grains, and water. The water used must be extracted in Japan. Saccharification, fermentation, and distillation must be carried out in a distillery in Japan. The distilled product must be aged for at least 3 years within Japan in wooden casks not exceeding 700 liters in size. Bottling must take place in Japan with alcoholic strength of at least 40% at the time. These conditions were first codified by the JSLMA in 2021, but with a lenient provision of 3 years for whiskey sellers to revise their packaging. However, since the JSLMA is a trade association, it doesn't have the authority to compel companies to comply with its rules, so it's currently still legal for companies to bottle imported whiskey in Japan and label it as Japanese whiskey. But what the organization can do, though, is deny usage of its seal of approval to companies who don't adhere to the definition of Japanese whiskey, signaling to shoppers overseas that without the JW mark, it probably isn't what they're thinking of when they hear Japanese whiskey. By having JSLMA members apply this logo to their products that comply with the industry standards, the association hopes to raise awareness of Japanese whiskey both in Japan and abroad while making it easier for consumers to distinguish it from other types of whiskey, says the organization in its announcement of the emblem. The statement also specifies that this is part of JSLMA's ongoing efforts to make the industry standards into a legally binding definition as they begin preparation for a geographical indication status application, which, if granted, would apply official legal penalties against companies that label their products as Japanese whiskey without meeting its criteria, similar to the protected status of champagne as opposed to sparkling wine in some jurisdictions. Well, damn. All right, Mako, what's on you?
Yeah. So, a shrine announces a ban of all tourists, but there's some fine print.
I know this whole story, and it's understandable and rightfully so. And god damn it, Ubisoft.
So after years of dealing with ill-mannered visitors, Watazumi Shrine has had enough with it and says what it calls the destruction of Japanese culture. So in the fall of 2020, the town of Tsushima Watazumi Shrine was damaged by a typhoon that struck the area, destroying one of its torii gates that rises out of the bay waters adjacent to the shrine. In the years since, though, the Nagasaki Prefecture Shinto Shrine, which served as a model for one of the locations in the Ghost of Tsushima video game, has been dealing with unwanted visitors of a human rather than meteorological nature. The situation has gotten to the point that Watazumi Shrine has now banned all tourists from visiting. This decision comes after years of frustration on the part of the shrine in dealing with disrespectful foreign tourists, smoking, littering, and spitting outside or spitting inside the shrine grounds. At least one tourist was found riding a mountain bike through a restricted area,
Jesus.
and the shrine also claims that tourists have stolen omamori, or the good luck amulet charms that are sold by the shrine. In January of 2020, the shrine voiced its intent to ban all quote unquote foreigners from entering the shrine grounds, but later backed away from the policy.
Mm.
In June of 2024, after a Korean traveler became confrontational after a shrine worker admonished him for throwing his cigarette butt on the ground and spitting inside the shrine grounds, Watazumi announced that it would be barring Korean people
Mm.
from the site. Now, though, the shrine has decided to extend the ban to anyone who is not a parishioner or worshiper. The shrine announced the policy through a March 23 posting on its official Instagram page, stating, "Important announcement. As of today, Sunday, March 23rd, entry to the shrine grounds is forbidden to anyone who is not a parishioner or worshiper. In addition, all photography, video filming, and live streaming of the shrine's ocean torii gates, buildings, and structures is prohibited."
Mm.
Perhaps because the shrine's previous attempts to ban foreign visitors met with negative reactions, the announcement makes specific mention that the no tourist allowed policy applies to Japanese travelers as well,
Mm.
stating, "In addition, all entry of domestic and foreign bus tours for sightseeing purposes will be rejected." However, the rest of the announcement makes it very clear that the shrine's continuing difficulties with foreign tourists are the catalyst for the decision, saying on Saturday, March 22nd at roughly 4 p.m., an immense and unforgivable act of disrespect by a foreign person took place at our shrine. We have repeatedly discussed such matters with the City Hall, the tourism agency, and the police, but have not been able to arrive at a solution. In addition to the mental anguish caused to our staff from the sacred grounds being violated, they have suffered repeated acts of
Mm.
verbal abuse and physical violence, culminating in an administrative crisis for the shrine. The statement signed by the chief priest also concludes with, "The behavior of inbound tourists destroying things and people that Japanese people treasure is nothing less than the destruction of Japanese culture. We would like to express here our regret at this situation and are taking action to protect the shrine and human beings' mental well-being."
Mm.
The problem is, the ban is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to enforce because of the current configuration. So while most of the largest and most famous shrines have admission gates, this one doesn't. So a large gate may be placed across the entire entry pathway at night, but at least while the shrine is open to visitors, there is no one checking visitors on an individual basis and asking what the purpose of their visit is. In addition, shrines don't usually have an equivalent to Christian Mass or Islamic Salah, in which a Shinto priest leads a congregation in organized participative prayers at a set time. Unless someone is visiting a Shinto shrine for specific reserved in advanced rites, which are very rare, worship tends to be very low key, tossing a coin in the collection box, ringing the bell, and saying a short silent prayer or wish, which is pretty much the same thing that tourists do. It's also worth noting that taking pictures or filming at the shrines isn't generally considered sacrilegious.
True.
And so
True.
the no photography part of the statement appears to be more a way of weeding out disrespectful YouTubers and social media influencers who can't be bothered to avoid damaging the shrine grounds while lining up their shots from which to say, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Also important to bear in mind is that even for Japanese people, there's often a tourism sightseeing element to shrine visits. Many shrines are historically significant, have stunning classical architecture, and gorgeous gardens. So while the shrines are religious sites, many Japanese people have a very relaxed attitude about religion, and secular enjoyment is often as strong a factor for Japanese shrine visits as spiritual. So it seems that the shrine itself may have realized that its ban on tourists was going to be difficult to carry out. So they have a follow up post, which
Mm-hmm.
says that for a worshiper is someone who respects the gods and visits the shrine with a sense of reverence, and that anyone visiting with that sentiment is welcome. It also says visitors are free to take photos while on shrine grounds as long as they maintain that sense of reverence. On the other hand, those who see the shrine as a theme park or just a place to take buzzworthy pictures do not fall under the shrine's definition of worshiper. So they aren't necessarily taking back their tourist ban, but at the
Mm.
same time, they really can't do anything. So maybe it just would have been easier to, say, hey, just be fucking respectful.
Okay. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I actually thought there was a little bit more to it than that, but anywho,
That's it.
it is getting late. We are going to get out of here. I am hoping that I can end the show without OBS crashing or anything. We're not doing any raids tonight. I'm just gonna call it as it is, and I'm just gonna try to cobble this together. So, anywho, if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up. So if you have any questions about the show, please drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Don't forget to check out our podcast, which is available on any podcasting aggregation app or site, such as Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. And if you like it, there's usually these apps that have a section where you can leave a review. Drop us a review. We'd like to know. Don't forget to visit our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you'll find anime tips and tricks, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, anime reviews, editorials, links back to our YouTube and our Facebook page of cosplay and convention coverage, all that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media. It's Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky. And to anybody that follows us on those, thank you so much. We couldn't do the show without you. And if you're still following with us, down below is links to our tip jar. If you want to just give us straight cash, which we greatly appreciate, there are links to our Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and our Ko-Fi. Cheer us on with bits. We appreciate that. Sub to the channel, hand out a gift sub or two. We really appreciate that as well. So now I'm going to kick things over for last words over to Mako-chan.
I'm gonna go and pass out now.
I think that sounds like a great idea for me, but no. But tonight I'm going to cobble things together and edit the audio and the video tonight so I can have a little bit of free time for tomorrow. So that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And I think, Barry will be joining us. So hopefully you'll join us too. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. I am going to fade this out and we can get the heck up on out of here and close it. So see you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!